Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're exploring something that is honestly absolutely fascinating. Have you ever wondered why children in Japan just seem fundamentally different? Like in how they learn, how they focus, and how they interact with the world around them? Well, scientists have actually uncovered the precise methods behind this. And let me tell you, it's going to completely change how you look at those crucial early years. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture what is, for a lot of us, a pretty familiar daily struggle. Trying, and let's be real, often failing, to keep a toddler seated and focused for just 5 short minutes. It's tough, right? But then, over in Japan, you have a 5-year-old maintaining deep, uninterrupted focus on a single task for an incredible 45 minutes. 45 minutes! It almost feels impossible, doesn't it? So, how exactly are Japanese parents pulling off this phenomenal difference? Well, it's definitely not some cultural myth, and it's certainly not magic. See this massive 75% figure? That comes directly from some truly groundbreaking 2024 data out of Tokyo Medical University. Their rigorous research proved that Japanese children possess an astonishing 75% higher focus, memory, and problem-solving capability compared to kids in other nations. And this isn't just a lucky roll of the genetic dice. No, this is the direct result of a highly deliberate, scientifically backed series of daily habits that they implement literally from day one. In this explainer, we're going to unpack this method step by step. We'll look at unshakable sleep requirements, nature and tactile learning, the digital threat, why play comes before academics, eye-level communication, and finally, the ultimate challenge.
Starting off with number 1, unshakable sleep requirements.
For children between 1 and 5 years old, getting 11 to 12 hours of sleep is treated as absolutely sacred. While kids in other parts of the world might get to stay up late for a special occasion, Japanese parents simply will not let a party or a gathering disrupt this schedule. Why? Because they know sleep is when the day's learning is actually locked in. It's when the brain strengthens those vital cellular connections and does a massive cleanup of unnecessary info. If a kid loses even one single night of proper sleep, that crucial information-saving process is interrupted and it physically impacts the brain's function for weeks. For them, there is just no event worth that cost. Moving on to number 2, nature and tactile learning. And this brilliantly illustrates what Japanese parents have kind of known intuitively for generations, something that's now fully backed by Kyoto University. Come rain, shine, or even freezing cold, Japanese kids spend at least an hour outside every single day. And we're not just talking a stroll in a stroller. They're climbing trees, gathering rocks, playing in the dirt. Research shows this direct interaction with nature acts like literal fertilizer for the brain. It sparks rapid development in the prefrontal cortex, that exact area responsible for attention and decision-making. Plus, being in nature actively lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, which cultivates that boundless patience these kids are so famous for. But it's actually about more than just being outdoors. It's about what their hands are doing. Real-world, fingertip activities are absolutely essential. We're talking playing with mud, sand, water, kneading dough, or even helping out in the kitchen by cutting vegetables. When a child physically touches and manipulates real objects, multiple areas of the brain light up simultaneously in this process called tactile learning. Building a real sandcastle stimulates these complex neural networks infinitely more than just dragging a finger across a tablet to build a digital one. Since our fingertips are directly wired to the brain, every real-world tactile experience is literally wiring their developing minds.
Which brings us to number 3, the digital threat.
This might be a tough pill to swallow for modern parents, but Japan enforces a near-total ban on smartphones and tablets for kids under 3, and a strict maximum of just 30 minutes a day until age 6. So the crucial point is what MRI scans clearly reveal about white matter. That's the brain tissue directly tied to language capabilities, and scans prove it physically shrinks in kids exposed to excessive screen time. Flat screens literally destroy a child's ability to comprehend the real world's depth and complexity. Every hour on a screen is an hour disconnected from reality. So instead of handing over a phone to quiet a crying child, Japanese parents redirect them to a physical task, fiercely protecting that internal brain structure. Next up, number 4, play before academics. Look at this powerful metaphor directly from the source data. Think about what happens when we rush academics, like putting a 3-year-old in a stressful race with flashcards and heavy backpacks. It's basically like trying to build a 10-story building on a foundation of sand. Sure, you might see some quick, flashy results early on, but the structure is fundamentally weak, and that usually leads to massive educational burnout by the time they're 10 or 12. The Japanese method? For the first 5 years, there is absolutely zero forced reading or math. None. The focus is entirely on play.
Play builds that rock-solid foundation without stressing the brain out, because stress literally halts the learning process. By the time a Japanese kid starts formal school, their brain is prepped, relaxed, and acts like a highly absorbent sponge.
Let's look at number 5, eye-level communication.
Japanese parents don't just talk at their kids. They actively awaken their brain's language centers using some very specific daily micro-habits. First, they physically get down to the child's eye level. Second, the phone gets put away completely. No half-listening while scrolling your feed. Third, they engage in a deep, two-way, active conversation about the child's day. When a child feels truly heard and gets that undivided attention, their self-confidence and emotional intelligence absolutely skyrocket.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific finding from Tokyo Medical University. They found that a child's IQ is determined not by the number of words they hear, but by the number of conversations they actively participate in. Just having the TV blaring in the background? Totally useless for brain development. The real magic happens when a child asks a question and the parent actually stops to answer and discuss it. That simple, dedicated back-and-forth interaction is literally building a mansion inside your child's mind.
And finally, number 6, the ultimate challenge. So, bringing this all together, that Japanese child's ability to focus for 45 minutes isn't some rare, unattainable genetic gift. It's the direct, predictable result of the deliberate, distraction-free environment their parents create for them. And yeah, it requires immense personal sacrifice from the adults. So the ultimate question for all of us is this: can you put your smartphone away for them? Can you stop scrolling through TikTok, bypass the expensive electronic toys, and instead give them that simple, natural, focused time their developing brains desperately need? Our children's future doesn't just lie in their hands, it lies entirely in the decisions we make for them today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Honestly, what are you going to change today?